Say again?
It's dirty in here.
It's already dirty in here, but it's a shed.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I don't want, like, it made worse by spray painting the shelves there. But anyways, I appreciate it, but I'm not letting you spray paint anything else there.
I didn't paint anything.
No. Okay, your brother painted it first, and I'm not letting you start at it anymore either. But no worries. Okay. Yeah, Matt Zinski and Typsim. I probably sometimes fail to realize just how much heart and soul somebody puts into their micro brand watch, their first watch, because I've never done it. So anything I say in the videos, I guess if it sounds judgy, I apologize. And I mean all videos, past, present, and going forward. But the second you watch the Matt Zinski interview on Watch Crunch YouTube channel, yeah, Matt seems like an instantly likable, soft-spoken fella. And the watch is probably bold and big and in its design. So yeah, there are a couple of things that maybe, and they're just personal things, and that's what makes watch collecting what it is, and it's what makes people's opinions, what makes them so passionate about their opinions. So enough of me and my opening rant here, or my opening monologue. Let's take a look at a Typsim, typical and similar Typsim 200M-C. And sometimes I feel like micro brands do themselves a disservice by sending out a prototype. My biggest gripe is that this was a prototype. And because it's a prototype, it's not exactly perfect, and I still had to show it to you. I still had to wear it. So that sometimes makes this type of video, a little tricky. But I'll try my best to be objective. Any gripes I have are my own personal opinions around what I like about a watch. Not so much the quality of this particular example. So you find me in my workshop. I'm not sure what Matt's workshop looks like. I bet it looks a lot tidier than mine. According to my youngest kid, he feels my shed is already a mess, so why should he worry about trying to keep it tidy? But here we are. Typsim, not hard to like. First off, yes, I like it, and it's not hard to like it. It has a lot of elements that Mr. Zinski speaks to in his interview with Max over at Watch Crunch. You will easily find elements of Rolex, Blancpain, Omega. It's not hard to see those things if you're paying attention. Let's get into the dimensions first. The bezel does protrude or hangs out further than the case diameter. The case diameter is 39 millimeters. The bezel is 41 with my measurements. The lug width is 20 millimeters. It tapers down to 16 at the bracelet and back up to 19, or starts it at 20, tapers down to 16 here just ahead of the clasp, and then back up to 19 at the clasp. It is 48 millimeters lug tip to lug tip. This being a prototype, let me talk about those items that you may not want to see in this video. The bracelet is not the finished product, And the fold-over clasp is pressed. On the website for Typsim, it shows a milled clasp with security pushers and what might appear to be a dive extension. Here at the back, maybe similar if you're familiar with SWC, the micro brand SWC Swiss watch company, their clasp. In the photo on Typsim website, it is comparable there. Some other design elements. It will come with an acrylic crystal. It will come with the Cyclops, the crown. Honestly, so this is the prototype and review piece, and it's been around the block a few times. The crown is quite tight, and I probably should not be unscrewing it. But in behind that crown, you will see an O-ring. Very nice. I like that design. It's got a big old crown with no guards. Very mil-spec, very vintage vibes. Very nice knurled crown. It is a signed crown with the Typsim logo that you are also seeing at the 12. The Typsim dial is a negative relief. So there are times when you cannot read the words Typsim on the dial or any of the lettering. It's in a gilt negative relief. It is aesthetically very pleasing to my eye. I do like it. I do not like Cyclops, but I can appreciate that this is part of the design of this particular watch. I like the sword hands, and they are outlined in a gilt. I can't adjust it to try and get them apart. I really shouldn't. The crown is not nice right now. This watch has been around the block as a prototype review piece. Movement. Sellita SW300-1. This particular model is the 200M-C, and the -C meaning chronometer certified. Matt has to take so many of the watches in full kit, just like this, and send them away to France for COSC. And I'm not sure if it's truly COSC certification, but at least chronometer. Whoa. Chronometer. Let's go that way this evening. Chronometer certification. The full kit where the watch has received a certification. So, in full dress on the website, the Typsim 200M-C is $1,800 US. That's right. I'm just going to let that hang there for a second. $1,800 US. I'm not there. Without the chronometer certification, you can also have this Typsim 200M, but it's at $1,299 US. I'm hard pressed for the 1,200, I'll admit. And this is a personal thing, simply because $1,200 for a micro brand. Listen, I don't even pay it for a Halios, which are pulling down $1,000 in the aftermarket sort of used market portion of the market of micro brand watches. So it's just a challenge for me to get my head around that, and I'll try not to sit on that too long. But those are the prices. That's the reality of it. It's also difficult, and I alluded to it earlier, because this is a prototype. You're not seeing the finished product. My first-hand experience with it, I'm trying to see $12.99. I'm trying to see $17.99 for this watch. I don't have the box. It was shipped to me in bubble wrap paper, from the last reviewer. And so, I don't know. $1,800 American's a lot of cash to layout for a watch. And if we're going to say, oh, okay, it's justified because of chronometer certification, then great. But chronometer certification can also be had in some other brands pretty close to this. So it does get tough. There's another gripe I have, and again, this is a prototype piece. The bezel feels good, feels high quality. There's no back play. Very solid feeling ratchet. It's in the 50 fathoms style, where it's acrylic inlay. Try to get that focused in again. Acrylic inlay, so it's got a bit of a dome to it, a bit of a bubble, which is very nice. It's aesthetically, I do like it. But the 10 looks good in the doming, like sort of the dome roundness of that dial, of the bezel insert, sorry. The 10 to 20 to 30 and the 40. But then at the 50, I start seeing it disappearing. And I'm not sure if that's because of the dome. The top of the 0 and the top of the 5 look like they're almost too far out. So I don't know. It's really unfortunate for me. I'm having a tough time once I see it to unsee it. And it's acrylic. And I'll agree that the acrylic crystal is very nice, but it's already getting scratched up. And yes, I understand it's acrylic and it's going to do that. So I feel like I'm insulting, Matt's baby or something, Matt's kid. I really appreciate that watch brands send these out. I can appreciate that as a lot of work. I would never be creative enough to design something this nice. I don't have creativity. I don't have a creative bone in my body, I guess. So, I'd need a parts bin full of watch parts and throw things together and go, hey, I like those hands. Hey, I like that dial. Hey, I like that case design or that bezel and that bracelet and that movement. Sure, let's see what happens. And, it's not hard. It's not hard for me to sit here and I'm going to turn the camera around. So it's not hard for me to sit here and get all judgy and critique Matt's watch. The Typsim is a nice watch. There is no two ways about it. It's a nice watch. So I shouldn't be critiquing it to that extent. Maybe not. But by comparison, you have Unimatic with an NH35, and they're pulling down $500-600 new. And then on the used market, people want a Unimatic U4A for $1,100. And that thing has zero design element. There's just indices and markers and hands, and they lean into that sort of bare bones angles, and that's it. Matt has put a lot of work into this, I'm sure. It's not easy, and then he's already taken the watches and sent them to France and had the chronometer certification done. I don't know. I'm tainted because it's a prototype piece, and these things always get me. Is it my limitation personally? I'm gone way too far into this conversation. So, yes, I enjoyed the Typsim watch. Typsim. Typical and similar. So Typsim. I enjoyed the Typsim watch. I had it on a number of bands. You're seeing in the pictures here now. Watch bands, and I did put it on another bracelet of beads of rice. It looked phenomenal on the beads of rice. It just popped. In my opinion, more so even than the bracelet that it's on. I had it on a Tropic 2.0. Again, it just really complements the watch. And then on a great Mora straps, NATO style strap. And again, it just looks great. So I like the watch overall. I guess I do have some challenges and gripes about the price. The price is just too much for me, but that's me. Please leave a comment. Please, push back. Debate the points with me. That doesn't bother me. That's why I do these videos. I'm in my own little echo chamber of a shed here. So, anyways, thanks a lot to Matt for sending the watch and agreeing to send it to me. Best of luck to him. I'm sure it's going to be a popular piece. The design of the watch, the elements are just great. They really are. So thanks a lot for visiting the channel again and listening to me rant about watches.